Hello, everyone, and we're with WICSO episode 9. I believe it is 9. Yeah. So, as you can see, I've added major cities. Well, not major cities, sorry, just cities in general. So I'll help with wars. And speaking of war, that's where we're kicking off. Because, well, in the last episode, we saw Greece capitulating to the allies of Italy, Ukraine, and Turkey. We also saw Britain uniting and then joining the war. So we'll kick right off from here. In where we'll see British forces seizing this city for Spanish troops can stop them. With the new addition of Britain, the front over here will be much relieved and the Italians will be able to begin to push all the way out their homeland. They'll be able to push troops out of their homeland, just being stopped outside this major city. Yeah, that looks a bit better, but we will also see. We'll see forces from Turkey and Greece, well, specifically naval forces, as they will land on these islands here, and then deploy, start a naval mission, landing one here, one down here, threatening these two major cities, and encircling one before quickly taking it, coming out just onto the outskirts of this one. What we will see is as we saw in the last episode, the purple team actually took over, well, seized this part of Africa which was Spanish, and while seeing that in more or less confirmed defeat of the Spanish, well, they will try to finish the deciding blow so they could get more of a peace treaty than they might have got if they didn't. So they, in their own naval campaign, will shockingly be able to land and take the capital region, leading Spain to have a fair few riots around the nation, which will include quite a big red one in this Galician region, taking over quite a large chunk of that Galicia. We'll also see a dark green sort of nation encompassing these city, pushing up to here. Also actually having this one in. And both of these rebellions, well, mainly the French one, will gladly welcome in the troops from Italy and Britain, allowing the front lines to push forward, which we will see that happening in more or less a total collapse of the Spanish state. Its forces flood in from this region, just, well, taking over large chunks of land, especially down here as they reach to this sort of city, taking these parts. Galicians taking this region, and then this, leading to the total collapse of these two allies, and we'll get into a peace treaty right away. Yeah, so this will be the peace deal that will be made up. Let's see, this city, the capital city down here, having to be moved to this one, as the purple team has taken that entrance. You also see the French being given independence and choosing their capital right there, and Galicians, not Galicia, the Galicia? I don't quite know. We also see Italy, annexing some of the Mediterranean coast of Spain. We see the Albanian state being released and being quite aligned to Italy. We'll take this city as its capital. I'll just line up properly. That also should not be there, but we also see this team, so the Turkish, taking over Thrace and the other side of Istanbul. We also see Ukraine taking parts. Also see Ukraine taking parts of the inside of the coast of the Black Sea. Yeah. As well as, well, I might have already said, but the Albanian state being given statehood. And that will do us for the Great European War. Oh yeah, Britain also took Brittany. Yeah. But yeah, time for more exploration. And well, as a lot of these more inward European powers won, there is quite a sense of camaraderie between them, and sort of to unitedly or join forces to it. They'll join forces to explore the inside of Europe to try and just, well, link each other up a bit better. Exploring quite far inwards. We also see the pink team that was Dutch that are now Denmark, that came from Middle England. Or explore into more of the Swedish area, taking up some of these areas, stopping out shy of these lakes. These these two nations will sort of co-independently explore all of this region, and even Finland will take landing up to this part, part of them islands, go cover around the coast a little bit. And this is really where, as I said, the era of exploration will really start to kick in. Also go to here, which the rest of Borneo, some of these more island nations, well, a lot of these more islands will be discovered, including this one. Although they will they'll quickly be divided amongst themselves with this nation island taking nearly all of this chain by a rapid move. These lot will take these islands, or the rest of this island, taking this one. No, this island is left out a lot, so what they'll do is independently explore a few more of these islands, not telling anyone else, because the past ones were sort of more of a collaborate, so working together and exploring, but they felt a bit wronged by just not being allowed to take any of them that they helped explore. So they're going to go on a solo mission just to explore some of these. And yeah, they'll just take over these islands. Yeah. Ooh. Leading our south. Hear me on this one, but we should call. I quite like the idea of these Indonesian islands, Borneo and Philippines, just to be lumped in with Oceania. In my opinion, it'd make more sense because they're already closely together, and we call this island a part of Oceania, and like that's all these islands more closer to somewhere like Australia than even New Zealand is. So I don't get it. Like these islands should just be called Oceania. It'd make it look a bit better too. Because yeah. But yeah, our Philippines will also go on the exploration ideas, and that's not the colour panel. So like the exploration, going like this island and coming right back around, as well as exploring a lot of this more jungly area, which realistically they wouldn't, but I say they do. So with more of this deserty parts of Asia, they're explored, and we see a lot of expansion, especially by this nation south, which I'll just call Southeast Asia for now. Exploring here, and Bangladesh will take over some of the small coastal regions. India will take over some of this region more inland, and yeah. It's time for this Far Eastern sort of update, because they were new. They did a thing, and a thing they're gonna do is so like from traveling basically half the world, they developed their own unique culture of traveling, not wanting to stay in one place. And I would say about 25% of the country is in red, wants to stay in red. The other 75% kind of wants to leave and explore. So the group are going to explore this island, going on to this island of Japan. A very small group will actually island hop to some of these, but the rest will go on to mainland Japan, and they will lock in and just do a bit of that island hopping and just explore. Well, explore, I mean travel. They did not just stay. They did not do it for the nation there. They did it for themselves. And well, there will be a nation which decides to stay here and take these islands. There will be a nation that decides to stay on this little land, and there will be a ping nation staying on a. Let's shrink my brush down a bit. Be a nation stay on this island, and all the rest will be cleanly split between a much more southern green nation. I'll say that it's southern, that's a lot of it, but also quite a light blue nation, which I'm actually just gonna darken just a bit. No, that's too much like that. We have a purple nation then, which will actually just take a little bit more off these guys, leading into what I will call the Holy Japanese Empire, which these nations, and actually see the red one taking this island, which I don't know the name of, but yeah. See these nations still being quite strongly held together by language, by people, and very loose and sparsely population, so they need to sort of work together. They're going to work together and form a semi-coalition, well, not coalition, but union in the form of the Holy Japanese Empire. And let's add some capitals and cities for them. Yep, so they've established some capitals, most only having one, but these first three, they're very lucky to have two, because of more people stayed at each location before moving on. So the capital, this one will have to go there, capital will go there, their capital will go on that one, which city is very hard to see because it's the very interesting yellow. There will be their capital will be put right there. And this is where we see the formation of the Holy Japanese Empire. Neither holy nor truly Japanese, because they're Ukrainian ethnically Ukrainian, nor an empire, so much like the Holy Roman Empire of our day. To the Americas, where we will see a similar occurrence as we've seen in the rest of the world, which will be called the Age of Exploration, or known in these modern history books as the American Age of Exploration, where we see a lot of the modern United States being explored, especially by the very rich, very rich state of Florida. But as well as this blue team, they're doing quite good because of doing a lot of fishing, doing a lot of trading in the Pacific. You also see, as I saw in the last episode, sort of these nations coming together to just do some exploration. They go quite a decent bit to yeah, South America, or arguably, most importantly, this blue nation think it's very rare up the Pacific coast, reaching just up to here. Well, and if you look quite carefully at the map here and about here, isn't that far away? So we could soon see these two birth states of civilization soon to meet, but that's not yet. There does need to be a bit more expansion before we head over to Africa, southern Africa. We'll see the Floridian state taking a whole lot of land more inwards of the United States. We'll also see a poorly sort of decision between both the Californian state and Florida to meet up to not allow the Aztec Empire to expand anymore without aggravation from another nation, in which we'll see both public diplomatic ties between these two nations and Florida and the Yucatan Peninsula nation, both mutually agreeing that if the other is invaded, they will join, which is a real blow to the Aztec Empire, as they, or Mexico, that they now know they cannot expand any further unless they make some drastic moves. I'm cooking, trust me on that one. Trust me. Yeah. Expansion from the Californian state will not just stop at that small part. We continue to go down here. As I was saying, what the first prospects of what a colony would be, if they just set up shop on these islands and a bit of mainland Alaska, and not making a true land border for the colony. So realised we did do a lot of expansion in Europe, and well, they didn't expand, so I'm just going to quickly do some expansion there. So Europe will be quite explored and then expanded into, in which we will also see this nation will be made up of disgruntled Greeks that, well, specifically in the northern part, wasn't a fan of the Greek action or the Greek loss, seeing the nation as weak and thinking they could do it better. Well, actually, very strangely, to say that they didn't like that they lost the war, will go over to Ukraine and just talk to them, offer like diplomatic support, and the Ukrainians, in a similar strategy to to California and Florida, will see them as the perfect option to stop Greek expansion, and will help, alongside Italy, fund the creation of a new Hungarian state. Yes, in which we do need to give them a few cities, in which we will have one being made here, one being made there, another one being made there, in which they will make they'll make this one. They will not. They'll make this one their capital, and this will really send a message to Greece that they're not. No, they wasn't destined for greatness. and well, they're just not good enough. But that will also send a shockwave of patriotism through the Greek nation, and yeah, they'll sort it all out. But also we saw exclave of Ukraine, and well, Ukraine doesn't really see much of a use for it now. Well, they still have a use for it, but they just don't really want it. They think it's became a bit more expensive to run, so they're just going to sell it for quite cheap. Say there's a city on it, and it's not very that. It's more of a town than city. So they're just going to sell it to the orange team. Yellow team, sorry. That will not sit 100% well with the Ukrainians in this region. So see, well, not our first micronation, but one of our first micronations is as well. The native Ukrainians around this town will go to this town and will communicate with the capital, and they do agree that they can just have their own little not micro state, but very small state in this sort of region that they bought. They did give them a bit of money, so taking the region off their hands, and they'll make their state here, capital, in the one city. Would you believe it? But yeah, I think that's actually going to do it for today's episode. So as all, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and join the Discord. It will be in the description down below. Goodbye.